All right, this morning we know exactly who knew what about the Boston bombers and why the information went nowhere. Details I find frustrating, maybe you do too. Joining us right now, the man in charge of finding out what happened, House Intelligence Committee Chairman, former FBI guy, Congressman Mike Rogers. Chairman, we found out a customs agent did alert someone in the Joint Terrorist Task Force in the New England area that Tamlin came back from Russia. But that information never got to the FBI. Why?
Well, we're still looking at that. That information didn't get circulated, at least to the best of our knowledge today, and we have some questions about why that would be. I will say in that agent's defense, travel alone isn't a derogatory bit of information. Now, you would have hoped triggered at least a secondary at the facility, at the airport, but I'm not sure it would have triggered something to happen at the Joint Terrorism Task Force. The investigation had already been completed and closed because they weren't able to find enough information or any derogatory information to go further in the investigation. So travel alone wouldn't have done it. It may have raised some questions to say, hey, maybe we should go back and talk to the guy. But remember, at that point, the Russians had stopped cooperating with the U.S. government as well.
Well, they did inform, unless you know better, the FBI and CIA separately about this guy. Look out for him. He used to work in the FBI. How rare is that for the Russians to make that effort?
They will do it. Here's the problem. Sometimes when working with certain intelligence groups with the Russians, they would give information, derogatory information about somebody that they politically did not align with. And so the FBI has to sort all of that out. Remember, at one time, these were very hostile intelligence services to each other, the FBI to the FSB, the CIA to the FSB. So you have to take every piece of this information with a grain of salt, and they didn't give them a lot. They didn't give them lots of background information on it. It was just said, hey, you should watch out for this guy. We think he's going through this radicalization process. Can you check it out? Checked it out. Couldn't find anything. Asked a question of the Russians. Here's the thing. The Russians, I think, have a lot more information here, Brian, than they are sharing today. They've kind of let us peek under the curtain a little bit, and it's very clear to me that they have valuable information, A, that they should have provided earlier, and B, that we need to get now to understand what happened when he went back to Russia.
And that's why we're trying. I understand we have people in there trying to reconstruct his 6 months. As we speak, that's coming together. Can you share with any information that might come out? Have come out already?
Well, we really don't know yet. And again, I think need to cooperate more than they are now to fully understand those 6 months.
Gotcha.
And
Chairman?
I just don't think they're there yet. Yes.
And Chairman, how disappointed are you, if at all, that we only questioned him 16 hours under the public safety exemption passed by the Supreme Court 20 years ago, and we didn't even get 48 hours? Why did this happen?
Well, this should be maddening to everyone. The Supreme Court said, listen, you have this public safety exception, and it was based on the case of one single gun, trying to recover this gun so it wasn't a danger to others. This was weapons of mass destruction. You had people who had bombs. We believed they had more bombs. This was a huge deal. So you had other persons of interest. Were there other people out there? Did they have other bombs around? Right. The judge intervenes hastily into what was a proved U.S. Supreme Court activity, meaning you could interview this guy. We've never seen anything like this. And so the DOJ apparently didn't fight it, and I think all of us were robbed of some public safety information.
Yeah. Keep your phone on and charged. We'd like to keep in touch. Thanks so much for joining us.
Brian.
All right.
Thanks.
Back in a moment.